going to jump ahead a little bit, and we're going to do Chapter 5 right now. What I want to do is introduce the concept of databases. And a reminder, these introductory videos are not complete. You're responsible for all of the content of the textbook, not just what we cover in these intro videos. So looking at databases, why do you need to know about a database? Why is this important? Well, one of the first things you should know is that databases are everywhere. Databases are accessed every time you go on the internet. Whether you make a cell phone call, you buy something online with a credit card, pretty much anything that you do in an electronic format is going to involve a database. That's why they're so important. They're everywhere. So Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of these use databases. When you go onto Facebook, this is nothing more than a database interjection. It's asking the database, retrieve the information on myself, and then everything associated with it. Likewise, you pull up Amazon.com. What you're looking at there then is a list of a database of products that they have available. So the reason then for learning database technology, well, database technology is going to facilitate your goals. Looking at this, is this going to achieve what I want it to do? So how do you turn data into a format to provide you with useful information? Because once again I say, what's the most important resource that a company has? And that most important resource is information. And again, what we're looking at is useful information. And where does this information come from? It comes from the data that we collect. Remember, we're tracking everything. And so this data is going to be transformed using a database into useful information. So understanding the structural changes are needed, or if structural changes are needed, or even a new database. As your company grows and you're going to have more things to track, is the database that you're using going to be sufficient, or are you going to have to turn around and create another copy of the database and store different data in it? Going to access if and when your company should build their own database. Looking at your company, and again, as we're starting out, we're going to start out with you are going to be doing exactly that. As you see, you're going to be building your own database, starting with designing it, and then you're going to implement it. You're going to see as your company grows, is this going to meet your needs, or are you going to have to go beyond what you've already created? So then what's the purpose of a database? The purpose is to organize and to keep track of things. And by things, I mean data. It's going to keep track of multiple themes. One of the cool things about a database is it can store almost anything. So a general rule when you're looking at this, a single theme can store data in a spreadsheet. If you're looking at a single theme, that's what a spreadsheet is good for. If it's got one idea or one concept and you want to store data on one concept, a spreadsheet might suffice for that. If you have multiple themes, though, it is going to require a database. So looking at this, what are we talking about with a theme? For example, students' grades. Student grades is a single theme. And I can turn around, I can store that in a spreadsheet, use that to manipulate the data, come up with averages, and anything I may want. But if I want to go beyond that, and I want to store also student emails and student office visits and other information, each of these is a separate theme. Even though we're talking about students as the base of this, the idea is each of these has a different concept to them. Emails are different from grades, different from office visits. If I want to store all of this information, a spreadsheet would not suffice. I will need a database to do this because I'm storing multiple themes. So looking at this is an idea of a single theme. Here's a spreadsheet that has student grades. Now, believe it or not, in business, I've seen multiple companies try to shoehorn data into a spreadsheet and use it as if it's a database. What was the reason for this? What I'm encountering a lot of times is that, people know how to use a spreadsheet. They don't want to learn how to use a database. They know spreadsheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'm going to try to put multiple themes. I'll have a column for student visits, a column for office visits, a column for emails, but it does not work in a single theme concept like Excel. And again, seeing people try to do this is going to not work. So looking at this, what you want to do is you want to expand that out. You want to go and take that from the single theme over into a database that is built for multiple themes. Looking at this, then I can turn around and I can store things like their student grades and then their visits and their emails. This showing an example of multiple themes. I can have multiple concepts put into the one unit, the one database, and then use them together. So when I pull up information on Andrea Baker, I can pull up all the information about that student. And that ends the first part of our talk about databases.